So just to look at that as an example, I might either, if I was shockwaving the plantar fascia, I'd try and bunch up the plantar fat pad underneath the heel and just create a tiny bit of sort of soft tissue standoff to absorb a bit of that pressure. And I'd also lower the pressure of the shockwaves down and potentially increase the frequency to get it over and done with faster. So when we look at what shockwaves do, so I'm hoping these videos work. So this is a shockwave applicator put into a cup, and you can see that it's just creating all these little bubbles, which is fairly cool. But then we get to looking at this, and so you get the massive collapse and then another explosion again after. So that's what happens with a shockwave. So when you're applying shockwave to soft tissue, you're looking at creating a small explosion with the bubble initially, which creates a small amount of damage. And then we get this cavitation, so it collapses in on itself and creates a space where there wasn't a space originally, which is what we have in that bit there. And then we get these microjets, which are these little offshoots of pressure and potentially water or more likely blood shooting through. And that will then help to create localized damage to small vasculature. So, sorry, I obviously stole the slides from my last lecture and decided to include something about modules and stuff, although I would say possibly still a bit far north for most of us to venture. But plantar fasciitis, it is now recognized actually shockwave is now recognized by NICE for plantar fasciopathy, Achilles tendinopathy, and patellar tendinopathy. There's also, I believe, mention of it with NICE for greater trochanteric pain, hamstring origin tendinopathy, which may make you blush to know how to treat those. But it's also mentioned in calcific tendinopathy, so for example, around the shoulder and rotator cuff, but we get calcific tendinopathies around the Achilles insertions too. So it's worth considering that it may still be quite useful in those calcific tendinopathies. It can be used for bone injuries. It's fantastic for stimulating and healing up our good friends, those shin splints, in particular medial tibial stress syndrome, because shin splints is a rubbish diagnosis.